Hello dear lovely YouTubers, thanks for watching. If you could hit the subscribe button, that would be great. And if you could like any of my videos that you watch and you get any use out of them, please click the like button. Thank you. I am creating my own oracle cards at the moment. I'm working on that. So feel free to buy me a coffee or send me enough money for a cup of tea. That would be fantastic as a help to pay for the printing and the... It's not actually the printing, it's the digital artwork I've got to get done in order to produce a set of oracle cards that are around synchronicity and coincidence. Now I'm continuing reading this little book. The Anima Mundi is today's card that I've chosen. Krans has made this Archetypes guidebook to go with the Archetypes cards. Today I'm reading about the missing hero. One of the great disappointments I faced in making this deck was confronting that I simply could not include every archetype. Since there are infinite archetypes, as we have discussed, this deck inevitably falls short in every direction. It simply can't keep up with the bigness of life. It is a drop in the ocean, a gust of wind in the great storm of archetypal energy. Knowing this, I was intentionally slow with my selection process. I spent 2 years filling the pages of my notebooks with lists of people, places and things that I sensed had particular potency and resonance. I came up with about 250 archetypes that I wanted to include, yet you're now holding only 78 in your hands. And during the final weeks of editing, I simply could not decide between some cards and others. An example of my daily dilemma: which to keep, the witch or the magi? Both are necessary, both must be. I had to turn to something beyond myself for help. I pulled out my pendulum and began to mix archetypes left and right according to its swing. Before each use, I asked it to communicate on behalf of those who would someday use the deck. I asked it things like, which archetype is the most needed, considering the dynamics of our current world, the witch or the magi? When the pendulum swung for the witch, I then asked it, which is the most effective name for her energy, the witch, the crone, the old woman, the sorceress? When the pendulum swung to name her the crone, I had to listen. So when it swung hard against including the hero and the heroine, I had to listen. Still, I returned to the question again and again with disbelief. How can an archetype deck not have a hero card? Blasphemous, ridiculous. The hero is the protagonist on the journey. It is an omission, a failure right from the start. To the skeptics, and my skeptic within, I offer a few contemplations about the hero. Perhaps the image of the hero is too gender specific. Naming the card the hero or the heroine excludes the other, and this is an exclusion that is no longer productive for our world. Perhaps it is time to find the hero within every card. It resides as a layer within the orphan, just as it does within the warrior. Perhaps the protagonist we truly long to know is more subtle than the hero. We may need to turn the Hollywood spotlight from the enviable individual saving himself and the world to a more nuanced story centred around creativity, compassion and collaboration. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, the hero is sitting on the bench this time around, a necessary ego check for every player on the team. And there were so many more archetypes that were cut out by the pendulum's swing. To them I humbly bow and say I am sorry. Take no offence. I trust you are alive and well at this very moment, appearing mysteriously in someone's dream, vision, drawing, poem or conversation, looping yourself back into the collective archetypal fold without skipping a beat. To the handful of cards that were cut at the very last minute, my heart aches occasionally, pondering your potency, the magi, the servant, the shield, the scar, the basement, the door, the well, the path, the saviour, the gate, the drum, the pause, the nothing, the guest, the friend, and even that list, as you guessed, is much too short. Okay, Anima Mundi. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Anima Mundi. Look at these lovely little images that they've got in the middle of this card. It's so beautiful colours, isn't it? It's lovely. Lots of eyes. Anima Mundi epitomises the principle: accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multi-dimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honoured, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fibre that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things, tending to the sacred details of life. The embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. Anima Mundi is the energy behind the World card in the tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness and embrace. Okay, so let's open some tarot cards, shall we? Let's do some readings about what it is the Anima Mundi would like you to embrace. Shall we do that? Okay, so I've chosen some stones. I have some stones with obvious division, different colours on them, and some stones which just are all one colour but shades of light and dark of that colour. So thanks for joining with me, the watchers of my YouTube channel. I do love the circle. I love the circular aspect of these cards, these archetype cards. They're fantastic, aren't they? I'm going to shuffle the angel cards. Now the Anima Mundi, it's in alphabetical order with the animal, which is what I did yesterday. I'm working through these cards alphabetically now. That's how I've narrowed them down. My logical mind said, yeah, that's what we need to do to try and get this organised. I can't even imagine how this poor person made these cards. It was a huge project. And I've got a similar project of my own now. I'm creating my own cards. So, dear lovers of oracle cards, know that there's going to be a new pack coming your way soon with regard to coincidence and synchronicity, and I'm trying to make those. I'm just hunting for a digital artist at the minute who's going to be able to help me create 88 images. I've currently got it down to 88. Well, it was 78, it's gone up to 88. So I can understand what this author was saying about, oh, there was so many to choose from, how do you choose? And so she resorted to using the pendulum. I say resorted to because when you love all of the things that you've created, it is like killing your darlings, isn't it? You know that old phrase where they say, kill your darling. So you might love it, but it's not necessary for whatever it is that you're trying to create, you know. It's like me loving having a little bit of music on in the background when I do this, because it blocks out the noise of the pub outside. But that's not for everyone, and often music doesn't work when you're speaking because people can't hear the words that you're saying, and that makes life difficult for everyone, doesn't it? Now, this card is a reminder about non-division. So I'm accepting the noise of the people next door but one. They're enjoying themselves. They're drinking, they're laughing, they're talking, they're chatting, they're living their best lives, and they're always going to remember these days. Remember that year of 2022 after the pandemic when it was really, really hot, and we used to go down to Peggy Sue's and drink on a Thursday. Do you remember that? And they'll be remembered. It's part of their history, isn't it? It's part of what they're going to remember. And so for me, looking at this Anima Mundi card, I'm using it as a reminder to be accepting of everything that's going on, and to not be triggered by it, and not be upset by people doing something different to my life experience, just because that's not something that I like to do. I think of myself as fortunate that I'm able to experience that life out there, right? Because there's some people that live very empty, cold, lonely lives with no noise, and the only noise that happens around them is noise they make, and that's a lonely existence, you know, because there's a benefit to be had from living where all the life is going on. You still feel like part of life, even though you haven't got to go out. You haven't got to go out to enjoy it, and you haven't got to pay for it. It's free entertainment. So you'll get some music in the background in a minute from the pub next door. We have to laugh at that, don't we? And that is the whole of the world, and a reminder from this card, like it is the world card energy, the world in tarot. When the world card comes up for me in tarot, I love that. I think it's, oh my goodness, you know, you've got the world at your feet. But again, let's just accept this, right? This is what we are doing. It's an acceptance of what is happening here, right? We can accept, if you can accept my untidy tarot readings and my piles that I create, they're messy, they're disordered, sometimes they're chaotic. And as much as I admire tarot readers that can keep everything tidy, I'm not one of them, right? Embrace the chaos, embrace the mess, and equally embrace people who can keep things tidy and ordered, because it's very important, isn't it, in life to have ordered life experience, because without the order, where's the structure? How do people know where they're going? And that is another thing I feel from this card. It offers direction, because once you know what it is you have to include, once you know where the division is, and once you know what needs to be included, you know where you've got to go, right? Does that make sense? Because I'm opening these cards not with one person in mind, but just allowing the cards to bring us the stories that it wants us to learn about, because everyone's got their own story, and we're all individual and everyone's different. But if you can take anything from these stories, let me know. Now, this is the pink stone, that is very loving, very kind, and as inclusive as possible, but equally it has got straight lines on it which are divisive. Okay, of course they are. This one, I felt this was the most divisive stone colours that I've got. They are the least blended, so that one's got the most work to do, I feel. This one has deep division. See these deep lines of, it's almost like a crack right through the stone. It's deeply divided, and it's like black, it's almost black and white, but it's blue and white, but it's a very deep blue. So the opposition is very definite. This lovely little pretty one I'm going to do first. It's pretty pink, and the divisions don't seem that desperate, but they're there. You can see the lines of disharmony and disagreement are there. So let's see, shall we? We're looking for where we can improve, and what we can do to improve our inclusive natures that we need. Retreat, time for a rest, time for a breather. Okay, time to retreat from the arguing and the division. That's always a great place to be able to be. Let me just open these cards and see what comes up for all of them. Oh, the hummingbird. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love, and energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. Look at this, and this is a perfect colour for these hummingbirds. Isn't this lovely? So as difficult as it may feel, and there's an element of mystery. Look at this, it's what you don't know. Embracing the unknown, and just recognise that you don't know everything yet. There's information that hasn't come your way. Okay, you're being kept in the dark about something by a master of information. There's a person at work here who knows how to keep the information to themselves so that you don't enter into the divisiveness. This card, the Chariot, speeds it all up. Oh, look at this. The Hierophant. Again, we have with this inner knowledge and knowing, which sort of links the mystery. That's a little triangle there going on. There's a mystery. So there's a person here who's very defensive in her attitude towards the possibilities. Financially, she's looking on the dark side about her financial situation, and she doesn't need to. Oh, and this little card came up a moment ago. It's about taking a horse to water, but you can't make it drink unless you are the master of your universe and your energies flow through that horse, and the horse is harmonious and the horse is happy to drink. You can't force things to happen. You just have to allow them to happen in their own time. And by forcing or demanding, but you know this because this is why you've chosen this stone, you know that forcing and demanding and trying to make things happen doesn't work. All you can do is be as harmonious as you can and recognise that this other person that you need to include in your world is the one that's got all the defence mechanisms on full alert. And as hard work as that is, the option you've got is to stay away from it, to retreat and heal, and know that time heals all wounds or gets rid of things. So if you let something go into the universe, okay, and give it to the angels and say, look, I've had enough of this, I'm giving it over to you, can you sort it out please? The angels will take it away from you and replace it with something better, or they'll take it away from you and bring it back improved. So the angels will take it away from you and heal it and bring it back improved, or they'll take it away from you and improve it, replace it with something better. Okay, so here's the situation where you are being kept in the dark, you don't know everything, the division isn't all from you because you're doing your best in the situation, and all you can do is let the angels deal with that situation and let the angels heal it for you, and you just carry on focusing on being as inclusive and as loving towards yourself and everyone in your vicinity as you can. If there's people in your vicinity that are giving you ag, you have to retreat and try and stay away from them as much as possible because you can't change them. Okay, thanks for watching, bye for now. Okay, the deepest division, which is an emotional division, I feel, also with the blue stone, that reminds me of water and air, and water is a symbol of emotions and how you feel, and the Anima Mundi is asking us to be inclusive. So there's an element of healing to be done before you can include. Oh, look at this, emerging, your emerging self. Okay, how you really feel about what's going on. The giraffe, the visionary, rise above earthly matters, glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path, stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. And this emerging self also is an improvement in how you feel about yourself. You start to be able to say, yeah, this is how I feel, this is what I think, this is what I want, knowing that people are going to listen to you. And the universal healing card, you couldn't ask for a better card to come up with the Anima Mundi, could you? You just couldn't. It means whole, it means healing the bigger picture, it means being inclusive. Universal healing is fantastic. It is asking you to accept the healing from the universe so that you can become a healing component within the universe. Yeah. Now let's have a look at these tarot cards, shall we? And see what story they tell. There's the Fool, Forrest Gump, having a little run. His little dog, going out starting something new, and everyone thinks he's a fool. But you know that it feels right thing for you to do. And you trust that your instincts are good and you know which fruit to pick. Seven of Pentacles, there's the low-hanging fruit. There's this lady, she is watering her material tree. She's growing her own money. And she knows that she can, and she doesn't care what other people think. In fact, we've got the Fool twice. That's perfect. I love it when these cards match up because it says, trust your instincts, follow your nose, follow your own path, water your own tree, right? Don't worry about what other people are doing. And that's a perfect card. The Lovers. Oh, look. Isn't that a lovely card? For this universal healing, puts you in a position of healthy relationship and having the love that you're looking for come your way. Now, this picture, this is the most divisive picture here. Bearing in mind we were looking for where's the emotional problem here that needs healing. The problem here is not everyone working together. People not carrying their weight. Some people carrying more than their fair share and feeling as though you're being treated unfairly somewhere. So that's the part that needs healing. The options you've got are to get this person to pull their own weight, tell them to get off so you're not carrying them, or accept the fact that this is what you're doing. So those are your choices, to recognise what you're doing and why you're doing it, and know that you don't have to do it. You can refuse to do that. You can start something new. This is a beautiful reading. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now. So the reading is the most divisive stone that I've got. The disagreements and the points of view that are so far removed. These are the furthest ones. These are the people who are furthest away from each other to agreement. There's no harmony there. But look at these cards you've got. You've got the blessings from the angels. So you're not on your own. There's angels watching that can see what's unfolding here. And you're having help being given to you. Oh, look at this. The magic unicorn. Oh, I love this magic unicorn card. I feel it's one of the most spiritual symbols that there is, the magical unicorn. Not even just the magic unicorn, just any unicorn. Love that card. Whoa. The snow leopard. Self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. Look at this. Okay, so bearing in mind that this stone says there's some real ag and argy-bargy going on with other people in your life. This card says it's not you. Be spiritual as you can and just get on with your stuff and let them get on with theirs. Wow. The Knight of Coins. There's someone who's wearing blinkers. I know this is Neo in the Matrix, okay, but he's still got his blinkers on. He doesn't believe that he is the one. He doesn't believe that he's the person that's got control of what's happening. And at the same time, he's learning. He's learning to adjust his powers and learning to use less power. So he doesn't need to be as forceful, Ace of Wands, as he believed when he first started. So when he first started, he was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, isn't it? It's using tools that you've got, which you can use, but the question is, should you? And there is again the Knight of Wands. Okay. With the Queen of Cups. This is the self-reliant Queen of Cups. This is a person who doesn't need other people to know that she's feeling and thinking the right things. She doesn't need anyone else to tell her what is the right thing to do, or where to go, or how to be. The Three of Wands, that's a very celebratory card. Usually comes up when there's something really big to celebrate. And there's this card. Again, this card is with this self-reliance. This woman is being carried by the man. He's happy to carry the money and to carry her as well. but she doesn't need that. But it's there if she wants it. That's why she's laughing in this picture, because she knows she doesn't need to be carried. He knows she doesn't need to be carried, but they're doing it in agreement because it's easier to go along and do this that they're both comfortable with than to have the argument about who's going to pay, why are you paying. All those issues that come up around money between people, some people can go with the flow of life. One person carries the other person, they're both aware of what's happening and they're happy to go along and do that because it's easier than clearing this mess up. Okay, so this is sometimes easier to go with the flow than it is to look at all the divisions and the insanity that that life on earth evokes from us. So the magic unicorn is bringing some mystery. You're the person that's just silently doing your thing. You don't need to be telling everyone all your stuff that you're doing. You just silently succeed and happily carry on with your life. And know that the angels are bringing blessings and healing to the painful situation that you've found yourself in. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Okay, let's have a look at this little pink one, shall we? That looks very, very loving. It's a very loving person that I feel has got some rigid ideas, and it's the rigid ideas that are creating the division. Let's see what the story is. Oh, intention. And look, it's lovely pink. The pink colouring of the outside of the card. I love that. The intention. Eagle. Mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit and your wisdom inspires the world. Okay, so you're in a position where you're inspiring other people. Earth connections. Oh, there's the rainbow, and there's a reminder that when you feel a need to control, or you're controlling any situation, look at nature and recognise that things that go with the flow and allow everyone growth go further and thrive and flourish, don't they? Rather than any of the restrictions that are being imposed. Judgment, okay, that is matching what I felt with this stone. There's an element of judging other people, and that's not good for your relationships. The Two of Swords, that's where the argument is coming in, relationships and the arguing. And this card was stuck to that card. These cards stick together, they like being a bit sticky. Five of Pentacles. Okay, this is the arguing about money, or having disagreements about money. Now the Ace of Swords, you can cut through any arguments, and there are no obstacles that you can't overcome with this. It says you wield this sword. It's a very powerful card. The question is, should you? Do you think you should? You can, but should you? And then again we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we have someone else who's enjoying the money and at the expense of noticing the nature around them. The Nine of Pentacles. Wow, could there be any more money cards in one reading? And I did say this at the beginning, didn't I? But as soon as the other words were out of my mouth, where I said, oh, these cards, this is all going to be about nature and things of a healing nature, and guarantee they're going to come up with a load of pentacles, and that is what has happened in this reading. Okay, so for this person that I felt was very loving, and it's got a very loving nature, but very strict, rigid ideas about what should be happening, particularly with money, and there's someone around you that you just feel is being irresponsible and not taking anything seriously, but this person is living in their feelings and they're so completely opposite from you. It's amazing that you've managed to get that far, honestly, with them, because you've got a set, strict, rigid ideas about what should happen, when it should happen, because you've got your goal and you are supremely focused like the eagle. You know what the goal is and you're planning on sticking to it. Well, dear little person that's reading this YouTube, if you want to have some healing and to be involved in a more pleasant, harmonious atmosphere, The only person here that you can change is you. The only person that you can improve their situation is what you're doing. So check where you're judging the other person. I'm not saying that you're wrong with your view, not saying that your opinion is wrong. I'm just saying that by having your strong opinions, that is why this person is just not even interested in having those types of views, because this person feels as though all your structuring and controlling is unnecessary. At the same time, when you're the person that brings home the rabbit for tea, he'll happily eat it. And it's that, isn't it? It's finding the common ground where you can look at this person and see, why is this person like this? And then recognising that you controlling and being demanding has created this. So the less demands, less judgment, less rules, less structure. Pay attention to where you're putting in rules and structure and demands where they're not really needed. Reel it back in. Have a look at where you're connected with nature. Have a look at where you're ignoring nature and putting money first. The same way this person is. Okay, there's a need to reconnect with nature here and to put the material concerns on the back burner. Not for long, just for enough time for you to feel healed and improved and on a path of healing. That's what's needed here, some healing. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.